Tanya kalau ada orang
These all are slop content. Mass-produced, low quality, and low effort. But they get a shit ton of views. Like a lot. Like a lot more than you think. So, why do we love slop content? Before we get too deep into this entire section, I want to mention that there is a lot of content that could be described as slop content. Sometimes they don't necessarily have to fit all three criteria, and most they just have to fit two. Though, if said content fits the mass-produced and low-quality criteria, that also could be gaming content, but gaming content itself is a different kind of content altogether, and I would say that it's extremely rude to see it as slop content. Long-form and short-form slop are not the same as well, though they technically share the same function. Short-form slop is usually either AI-generated content, like these kinds of videos that you might have come across before, or brain rot, or these kind of extremely low-effort reaction content. The thing about short-form slop content is that it's extremely easy to waste your time in, since they know all too well how to grab your attention, unless of course if you swipe away immediately. Brain rot is especially good at capturing your attention, even if it's just for a second or two. That is more than enough for it to display whatever it is that it needs to. In shorts, due to the fact that it's incredibly important for the content creator to grab your attention immediately, they will either edit it in a way like Mr. Beast edits his videos, or say or use something that will hook your attention immediately.
Apparently, at an Academy Awards anniversary, acclaimed American actor Alan Alda asked Arrival's Amy Adams, allegedly,
the thing is, sometimes the content itself isn't all that interesting, but they make you stay for long enough that you watch it until the end, and only when it did end did you realize that you were basically watching something that is slop. But at that point you couldn't really care anymore, since you already watched the whole video anyways. The point about short-form slop content is that they just need to grab your immediate interest for long enough that you will sit down and watch a bit of it, and perhaps even all of it. Now, that does sound a little familiar.
You won't believe actor joins film!
Why wouldn't they believe an actor would join a film?
Ah, wait! You won't believe.
Ah yes, that's technically how clickbait works as well. Though nowadays clickbait has more or less gotten out of style. All short forms need to do is that somehow attract your monkey brain to stop moving for a second, and sometimes those few seconds are more than enough for them to make a profit out of you. Long form slop meanwhile heavily depends on what genre you're looking at, because all of them have their own kind of unique quirks for them that makes them different flavors of slop. I somehow forgot that they exist until YouTube started to recommend Jack's Films videos again. Reaction content is actually the pure definition of slop content. Of course, not all reaction contents are made equal. I sometimes like to watch videos by Marco Meatball and Cartasis when they react to Gotcha music, since they sometimes understand the story from the music that they have just heard. It's interesting learning about how music can tell a story through composition.
As a conversation that wasn't really lining up.
The slop itself mostly refers to the content creators that do reaction content to general videos, usually TikTok videos. This does actually feel like a long-form version of the Subway Surfers gameplay below while something else plays on top. What type of reaction content is in slop? Well, the content creator reacts to something that is within their realm of interest or what they typically stream, like Maximilian Dude, who sometimes does reaction content to new characters added to fighting games. Since his content generally revolves around fighting games, he could give quite a bit of input on it. Basically, what separates good reaction content from slop reaction content is, does the reactor itself provide something additional towards the content they are reacting? If the answer is no, then it is slop. Like Ali A on second channel, More Ali A, where he does reaction content. If you have actually watched one of the videos before, you will know that the way he reacts to the content is much like a certain woman that I would not name because I'm scared of her coming after me. I know I live on the other side of the world, but just in case.
Oh, you did bad in the test? Don't worry. You can change the 13 to a 48 and the fail. Oh my god, how did they make the fail say pass?
Ah yes, the water is watering.
Take your salt shaker. You can put chocolate inside. Nah, that's so good. Chocolate is way better than salt coming out of there.
Ah yes, the tree is green. Generally, most people watch reaction content simply because they have developed a parasocial relationship with said reactor, and just enjoy the feeling of reacting along with them about whatever it is that they are watching. It gives you a more communal feel through doing something since there is someone else doing it with you, albeit just through your screen. However, sometimes why we watch reaction content is for the sake of validation. Like I mentioned about these two content creators who make reaction content to gacha game OSTs, it feels good to feel validated by people who have an intimate knowledge of music, analyzing the music itself, and even enjoy the music from your favorite gacha game. I'm not sure how many of you still remember Fine Brothers with their heyday back during 2012 and 2019, judging by the dates of their most viewed videos. And of course, they tanked their reputation when they wanted to introduce React World, as well as other incidents relating to them apparently mentioned that they were the original creators of React content, which of course was quickly debunked by other users. And of course, providing one of the worst apology videos ever. Actually, now that I think about it, there's much worse. But looking back at the content they used to do compared to now, the reason why their React content was so popular was because of the different generations and people that were seeing something new for the first time. It feels interesting to see what others who may know nothing about said content they are watching express their feelings. Of course, that was fake, as mentioned by the people who were on Fine Brothers and have long left the company.
Cringe and wouldn't let us speak our mind on a show about speaking our minds.
They were on our fucking dick and balls, bro. That shit sucked. We couldn't say nothing.
Reaction content fills in the need for both validation and also the sense of connection, even if the reactor doesn't provide much input. Much like reaction content, not all drama contents are made equally. You get people who make extremely long and in-depth look at dramas like D'Angelo Wallace, The Right Opinion, and Jake Aubrey. And you also get people who just report on the drama like the Internet Anarchist and Sunny V2. Internet Anarchist does make longer videos, but his content is still very much of Sunny V2 style. The Slop content generally comes from those who just report on the drama. Or in the case of More Pegasus, his style is a lot more like Penguin Zero, but his videos are way longer and he yaps a lot more. Also, just my very personal opinion, I do not like his voice. I find it to be too annoying. It more or less reminds me of how Keemstar would speak, but I find Keemstar more tolerable.
Sean is back and he is unbanned on Twitch after a grand total of 3 days.
Keemstar, let's get right into the news.
Drama content like these could be counted as slop since they are usually mass-produced, low quality, and low effort. Though Penguin Zero stands out amongst the crowd since he does more than just drama content, has been in a few beefs of his own as well as his dry sarcasm providing a lot of meme moments.
Listen, you know, I dislike sexual assault as much as the next guy. That's some bad stuff. Rape, boo, don't like it. But he never raped me. So he's not all bad. And also, we used to butt chug brewskis in the bathtub together at the frat house. Like, this is a good guy, and it's just something to consider maybe when you're looking over this and deciding on sentencing.
Generally speaking, reporting on the drama is a lot of yapping. Even outside of the YouTuber drama space, there are also people like Hyohei and Chibi Reviews, though they both have their own questionable conducts.
Techniques basically to influence your audience. And you can joke about it, Marky, you can meme it in your Twitter posts, but this is something that really is happening from Funimation. But the problem is, anime has been being used by certain groups to interject politics into it. And guess what? People don't watch anime to get told to vote for something, or to get told that they are a terrible person for some reason. You watch anime because you want to get taken to a cool world, see cool characters, maybe some awesome fights, some cuteness here and there, slice of life, drama, sci-fi, you know, whatever it is, different tropes, different genres, isekai, blah, 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 blah.
We begin this video with one of the most common misconceptions a lot of people seem to have. It was this notion that anime has always been apolitical and wholesome. It is a medium that seems to give people a break from a constant propaganda and agenda of these virtue-signaling SJWs on the internet.
Those in the drama content space generally have issues, especially those who upload videos extremely often. Then again, I assume that if you're paying so much attention to internet drama, you probably need to touch grass more often than you think. Of course, not everyone is like that, but there is a significant overlap of people who upload videos on the internet drama too much, and those who need to touch grass. Generally, people who watch drama news that have less yapping are just that they want to see what's new for this week. Oh, maybe there is more plagiarism. Or maybe there is more whatever dumb shit that someone did. Less yapping means the information given is more objective-ish. Unlike the significant amount of yapping some of the other drama content creators have. About those who do yap a lot more on top of the news they present, they either have a lot to say about the creator they are reporting on, like Mo Pegasus, or they have a heavier political sense, like Hassan and Asmongold. Both Hero Hey and Sheep reviews also fall somewhat into this category, but not completely. The fans of these people are of a specific political standing, especially when you see the way these videos are titled and what their thumbnails are. You could nearly instantly label what kind of content it is. Even if it's in fact slop, the most political-leaning content serve a specific kind of audience, and the views stated by the creator obviously also match the views of the audience who keep watching their content. Like I mentioned earlier, sense of validation.
Disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
This is looking mostly at Mukbangs mix, from everything from challenge-type videos to food reviews to yappings. The yappings basically mean that said creator just eats while they talk about something, much like how Nikocado avocado videos are. The specific type of food reviews I'm mentioning is the type of videos where the content creator orders and eats a lot of food while they do reviews, like How Eat, a Taiwanese YouTuber who is also a bodybuilder that does these types of videos. He mostly reviews buffets or does challenge videos, where he will also review the food he is eating while showing what the buffet offers. You could consider these types of content to be mukbang mixed with something else. To me at least. What most of us think of mukbang content is generally the absurd amount of food they are eating, but sometimes they don't really have a massive portion size. They just eat a lot more than the regular food does. So regular food reviews where a person only tries out a few of the food isn't really mukbang. And also mukbangs will show you that they have finished the massive amounts of food they have ordered, no matter if that is real or not. Mukbangs aren't really the highest quality content. It does take quite a bit of effort, but that also depends on what kind of mukbang it is. It can be produced somewhat easily, also depending on what type of mukbang it is. I'm not sure about you, but sometimes I do quite like to watch food reviews or others eat while I am eating. To explain this, we can go back to looking at why mukbangs have gotten popular. Mukbangs gained popularity around 2019-2020, during COVID where everyone was stuck at home. Basically, the appeal of mukbang content can be boiled down to alleviating loneliness, escapism, parasocial, since mukbang is basically a sense of communal eating, and also sexual. Yes, sexual. Quote from the spectrum of motivations behind watching mukbang videos and its health effects on its viewers. Previous research has shown that overweight male viewers of mukbang were motivated to do so by a desire to fantasize about thin, attractive female mukbangers gorging themselves on large quantities of food. In 2018, researchers reported that mukbang may lead to a fetishization of the eating behaviors of women, which they attributed to the phenomena. And there is also a kink leading to eating known as feed and feeder, but I don't want to rot my brain, so I will look it up, and you probably shouldn't as well. Obviously, mukbang doesn't mean all food content, since food itself as a genre is incredibly large on YouTube, and there are many other types of content that's under the food genre but of a different niche. But mukbang itself is generally easier and lower quality than most of the other niches in the food genre. This is basically referring to all of the content that just involves someone reading and reacting to Twitter posts, Reddit posts, or sometimes just the comment section. One of the YouTubers that is still immensely popular for this type of content is Matt Rose. And yes, his content is just about a specific type of topic that he was looking for and reading the post itself out loud. Nowadays, he adds a video of himself doing what he just read out, usually either the strangest one or the funniest one.
Lol. Hi, Bunny from the future here. This was not the image I was trying to attach here. Analog uwu cat face. We did not go out to eat this. I wonder what it would taste like, face with tears of joy emoji. Yeah, you step aside.
Cooking with Max! Time for cooking with Max! Cooking with Max! Quite a simple recipe today.
This type of content used to be incredibly popular, but nowadays it's a little less popular. I believe especially after YouTube started to reward watch times, though that's how some people decided to stretch their video long enough so they could fit in more than one ad in it. They do actually fit the 3 criteria for what we call slop, and this of course can be fitted into any type of videos, long or short. This mainly uses content from social media itself to make their videos, and especially due to the advent of AI voices, you could just use AI to read the comments.
Want to be your toilet slave. Ninja, get a job, bro.
Content like this is the easiest to make, but also the hardest as well, because much like AI-generated content, it has such a low bar to entry that almost anyone can do it, which means that it's incredibly competitive in terms of trying to stand out amongst the crowd. Especially if you didn't write the trend before this and are starting now, you just have to hope and pray that your content itself is interesting enough to the audience, and the audience is basically any crowd who is interested in seeing weird crap. Which is a massive audience. Matt Rose still voices over his own content, and actually the most impressive thing is that he always somehow manages to make keyboard smash sounds coherent.
That's not the image I wanted to use! Please just bummed!
This type of content is why people think that video making is easy, but the truth is, this type of content, while extremely easy to produce, it also tests your skills on finding stupid comments that are interesting and funny enough where most people find it humorous. And most people is incredibly important, since it's better to not put in jokes that cross the line into something else. And another problem is that it's very easy for you to accidentally pick a topic that someone else has done before and choose most of the same jokes as well, if considering the fact that you aren't doing plagiarism. This particular genre is what I would like to call turn your brain off, but not completely. It's not so much like brain rot where it damages you badly, but you can turn your brain off enough to know that the content will at least be interesting. And if the content is not voiced by AI and instead by a human, like I mentioned about parasocial relationships, it does build a feeling that you're laughing about something dumb someone said online with a friend. But after looking at these different types of content, there's a specific conclusion that we can come up with.
So good and tasty?
Slop content is basically content that you can turn your brain off and still enjoy anyways. Slop content doesn't tend to be the ones that are well produced, though they are at times. They are just merely entertainment that's enough for your brain to think, ah yes, this is interesting. And honestly, that is enough. Think about it. You're tired after a long day at work or school, and you decided to scroll your phone for something to look at. Does it matter what you are looking at as long as the content is interesting enough to keep your attention? The answer is probably not. Reminds me a lot of what I've heard from a content creator that makes music content, though he is Chinese and not on YouTube. Basically, the question was someone asked about how to get better taste in music. And one of the things he mentioned is that there is some music that you don't immediately get why it's good. But sometimes, perhaps due to time, or perhaps just depending on the mood and the situation you're in, when you listen to that music again, you'll have a different feeling towards it. Perhaps you would even fall in love with it, though perhaps you just never managed to understand it and leave it alone altogether. In my own experience, I enjoy listening to Eason Chan when I feel emo. Though if I'm not in a bad mood, then I just enjoy the music as a simple piece of music. And sometimes just a sense of nostalgia, since my father quite loves Eason Chan and other older Cantonese songs. This is the feeling I have with extremely long video essays as well, from people like Super iPad Truth and H-Bomb Guy. I can't say that I can watch that content every day, and sometimes I'm not even in the mood to, but I will watch them when their video comes up, or when I get interested in seeing if they have made something new, and only when I'm in the mood to watch something long. Sometimes you're simply just not in the mood to watch something that takes a long time, that takes you on a journey, on something far more analytical. You just want to relax. Maybe even want something to laugh at for a moment for your body to recharge. So honestly, don't feel bad about watching slop content, as long as it isn't completely AI generated. Sometimes we just need to be in the right mind and the right place to enjoy something that's far more deep. Remember, as long as you still have a relatively good diet and your body is healthy, you can always eat some junk food here and there to satisfy that craving of yours. This is Amelia from the Cat is Bored channel, where I make commentary videos on whatever I want. And I will see you all in the next video.